Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right, welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Bottleneck News. As always, you're listening to the Brilliant Beards. I'm Robbie.
I am Book.
And I'm Craig.
And we're here to bring you some recent news, current events. Maybe I can get it out of my mouth without fumbling again.
Be all right. Oh, first things first on the realist. Tonight's beer of the night is Southern Prohibition Jack the Sipper.
Sounds fresh.
See how this is. That is quite possibly the greatest name for beer I've ever heard in my life.
It's good. Tastes like an English beer.
It's pretty good. I won't lie. It's not as bad as those other ones.
Yeah, we've had some failures recently.
Tastes like a turd sandwich.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But these are pretty good.
ESB with 100% English malt and hops. I don't know enough about beer to know what that even means.
I don't understand, though, why there's a female on the front for Jack the Sipper. I understand Jack the Ripper killed women, but...
Because you're Jack the Sipper.
Oh, okay.
That has nothing to do with the picture.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah, you're Jack the Sipper.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Get it?
Yep.
Drinking.
Got it. Let's forget I said that. And I'm killing her because I'm killing this can.
Oh,
So technically, I'm killing her.
there you go. Killing the can, Jack the Sipper.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pretty tasty stuff. I have no complaints.
Nope. SPB.
So give it a try. Put a picture of it on Instagram. We'll throw out one more tonight before we're done. And put a little review with it. But tasty stuff. That's the other thing. Catch us on Instagram. We're the Brilliant Beards, and we're also Daily Beard Problems. So like both of those, and follow us for whatever. We're going to try to release some T-shirts here soon. Try to do some stuff, have some fun.
Yes, we are.
But the first thing we're going to talk about tonight, which we added at the last minute, because I'm a little heated over this topic. It's it's a pretty serious topic. They're taking something that is profoundly awesome,
Beautiful and pure.
and beautiful and pure and original, and they're destroying it. And what we're talking about is the news that I just heard that supposedly someone has decided to do a remake of Ghostbusters with 3 women.
Look that
And
up.
don't take me wrong, it's not the
3
fact
women
that
or
it's
4 women?
I don't care. It's
Four.
not the fact about the women.
Had to
I'm
be
just saying
4
that it's
women.
being made with women. That has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that they're remaking one of the best comedic.
Well, it's a movie that's not meant to be remade. There's no reason to remake that movie.
There's not. Harold Ramis has died. He's moved on. Let's not taint his memory
Zero reason to.
by screwing with one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion.
Top 5.
Yeah, but at least they are getting somebody
God.
sexy to do the remake, because the remake was coming. I mean, you've got remakes of Annie and all these other
that's
movies.
not.
But
that's
see,
not.
That's the
coming.
thing is the only reason.
Don't
that
get me started on Annie.
I don't want to. I don't want to interject the whole sexism thing here, but don't you think that they're putting 4 just drop dead gorgeous women or 3 in it because that makes more people go to it?
Absolutely.
I can tell you this.
But that
right
makes
now.
me not want to go to it.
But I mean, would you rather have Ryan Reynolds as a Ghostbuster, because he's obviously the new Batman?
I thought.
Ben Affleck's the new Batman.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
I was
not
fixing to
Ryan
say
Reynolds.
Bob Dylan. That's totally off.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Is the new Batman. So you don't want.
You know
Ben
what?
Affleck.
You know who I want in Ghostbusters? Nobody. I want it just to.
That'd be a horrible movie.
I just want it to
really
be
would
left alone. It was so good. I mean,
Do they know? Okay, who are the 4 where they're supposed to be in it? 3 or 4? How many? Who?
what, the women that are in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Does it say?
to be-
This could be complete garbage for all I know. But I heard it today.
I'm just
Look it up. And
I'm
make
just
sure.
really disappointed
There's no.
that it's.
Wow. Of course.
Oh my god!
Of course. And why not?
Oh,
And
so
here's the deal.
Craig just looked up on IMDb before we get in it, and this so-called cast so far
Scroll up.
is Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, Cecily Strong, and Leslie Jones. So all it is,
How do you know that's for Ghostbusters?
it's Saturday Night Live.
Oh, because it says Ghostbusters. Yeah. Okay.
Ghostbusters 2006.
The only good thing is that Dan
Writers.
Aykroyd is one of the writers. But the thing is,
No, here's my deal.
You realize
I
this
like-
is just Saturday Night Live. That's all those women are on Saturday Night Live. That's it, except for Melissa McCarthy. Literally, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Cecily Strong, Leslie Jones. They've all either been on Saturday Night Live or currently on Saturday Night Live.
Well, see, here's my deal. I really like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
She's funny.
I like all of them except Melissa McCarthy. I think they're all super funny, but that
I don't
has
know.
nothing to do with it.
I only know Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy.
No, Kate McKinnon's super funny. Cecily Strong is super funny. Leslie Jones is hilarious. They're all currently the bottom three. McKinnon, Strong, and Jones are all current SNL members, cast members.
Oh, well, that's easy to do, I guess.
And then Kristen Wiig, of course, was one of the top 3 women ever to be on, top 5 women ever to be on SNL.
She is pretty funny. But no, I really like her, but I don't know. Whatever.
They're just ruining it. It's Ghostbusters, man.
Ghostbusters, man.
Just leave it.
I'm not going to rush to judgment because, this movie could actually be pretty good.
Everybody, I can tell you right now, everybody that has seen the original Ghostbusters, that's the deal, is all you got to do is put Ghostbusters in front of it, and that Dan Aykroyd's a writer. Everybody that's seen the original Ghostbusters is going to watch this.
Yeah.
Don't say you're
except
not.
for me.
Yeah, guarantee you watch it.
Guarantee you I don't.
I'll
Bet
burn it for you.
I will put.
Bet you if it's on TV and I'm flipping through channels, I might stop to see what they've done, but I'm not going to go to the movie. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to waste 2 hours watching it because it's not Ghostbusters.
I didn't say you were going to go to the movie or you were going to buy it. I just said you're going to watch it.
Dude, I haven't even watched Guardians of the Galaxy yet.
That's a disappointment.
I haven't seen
The
it
movie's
either.
a disappointment, or it's a disappointment that I haven't seen?
You haven't seen it. It's good, man.
I've heard it's good, but I'm not a big movie watcher, so
Chris
I'm
Pratt
not going to
going
waste
off.
my time with this if I'm not going to watch, one of the top movies of last year.
All right. Fine. Don't watch it. I don't care.
I'm not going.
I'll burn it
I
for you.
told you earlier when you first announced this Ghostbusters thing that I wasn't going to talk about it until the podcast because I was going to get heated. I'm heated. That's like if they did. That's like if someone was like, "Hey, we're going to make a Boondock Saints 3, but we're not going to have Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery." That's just asinine.
Sean Patrick Flannery.
But that's
a good point.
That's dumb. I wouldn't
That's a
watch
good
it. Would you watch it?
No.
No, I wouldn't
wouldn't
either.
Depends on who's
Chance
in
in
it.
hell, I'd watch that.
Dude, I don't care if they put the 2 top actors. I don't care if Clooney is playing old.
Clooney's not Irish.
I don't.
That would
Is
be
he?
like
What's Clooney? What's that last name?
I have no clue.
what?
I thought I was going to say Georgia. Like, yeah, well, that's American. So can we get a...
I didn't even hear the
I was
question.
going to say, what's Clooney? Like, what?
That's
Where
funny.
did that come from? The last name Clooney.
Oh, I don't know.
Like Grady came from Ireland. Just curious.
Probably from Funland.
Funland?
Clooney.
I think that's a fake. That's a fake place.
Wouldn't it if it be from Funland? Wouldn't it be Clowney?
That's where you go when your wife beats
It's
you.
everything's an off take. Grady, O'Grady, Clooney, Clowney.
I think he really was last
Good
name
one.
Shady, but they changed
been.
it to Grady
Could've been.
back in the day.
No.
But what's the original of mine if it's Sherwin?
I'm gonna say Prussian.
Boom.
I don't know. My
I
dad
have
does
no
all of our
idea.
genealogy. I know
I
my mom's whole side is Welsh, like 100% Welsh. I don't know about my dad's.
yeah. I would probably bet it's Eastern Europe. I'm gonna say Prussian. or
My dad
Romanian.
did have a DNA test done though, and we're mostly like Eastern European-ish, but there's a bunch of Norwegian and Swedish mixed in at some point.
Sweden.
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 It reminds me
Yeah.
of the part in Frozen. Have you seen Frozen?
Yes.
Where she walks into the
I've seen it.
Yoo-hoo!
Seen it one time.
Welcome.
Seen it one time.
You know how many times I've seen it? Probably 650 billion.
That is impossible.
Not impossible when you have a 5-year-old daughter who watches it in the car where you drive, and then anytime you watch another movie. So anytime I drive my car with my 5-year-old, I'm watching Frozen.
I just got to ask you one question,
What's wrong
Bud.
with that? I like
Do
Frozen.
you want to build a snowman?
It's a good
Yoo-hoo!
movie. I hate
That is
that
from my
song.
winter
I don't
stuff.
like that song, though.
Huh?
I don't like that song.
What? It's
I just like when she goes, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
It sounds
Yeah,
like
she's
she's
so
a mass
cute.
murderer.
Yes.
She
There's
does.
some psychopathic.
I know. But it's funny how she says it, isn't it?
Yeah.
She goes, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
Is
Liv always says it. It's
build
really
a
funny.
snowman code for murder our parents? Because if so, I'll...
Hey, you
They
didn't
just
think-
announced Frozen 2.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That
Frozen
doesn't
also?
surprise me at all.
Like another year and a half.
Same people in it?
Frozen also.
Same.
Frozen still.
Frozen still. Still frozen.
Still frozen.
God dang it, I cannot
It'll
get
be
out
the-
of this ice.
It'll be the same thing. And they released that Toy Story 4 is going to be a romantic comedy.
Great. I will not watch it just like I didn't watch
That's
2 or
a
3.
great way to kill a franchise right there.
But do you realize that they have the
gonna
same
be-
actors in it every time? It's pretty cool.
That's cool. So, it's a romantic comedy. Are they going to interchange Woody in this one since it's a romantic comedy?
He is now known as Woodrow.
Yeah.
With no longer Woody.
Yeah.
He's grown up. That's what they're going to tell the kids. He's grown up.
Woodrow, so Woodrow could possibly get a Woody in this one if it's a romantic comedy.
That's funny.
Oh, that's
Put
awesome.
that toothpick down.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, how about this? How about we move on to something that's actually important in the world? Well, in the United States, not in the world. Nobody really cares about the United States outside of here, which I can understand because Buck doesn't really care about any place outside of the United States. So.
Like Ireland.
Except for Ireland. So, as we've talked about in the past, Buck does not read the news at all.
Correct statement.
Not a bit. Has no clue. In our original podcast,
Like to
which probably will never release except if we ever get famous, and
I like to live in a fantasy
we want to
world.
release the, hey, this is where it all started very terribly.
Yeah,
We talked about Benghazi, and Buck had no clue what Benghazi was.
I thought it was a sandwich.
So we're moving on into this new Hillary Clinton email scandal, which is basically what happened is Hillary Clinton, rather than using her basically government-issued email address, created her own server in her home, which is super expensive, like tens of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
so that she could conduct business. In her mind, I don't know what her explanation is, but in my mind, she did so she could conduct business on the side, and she could control whether or not people had access to her email, because if I work for the government and I'm using their email, they can access, just like our work email,
Yeah.
they can access that at any time. If you've done something you're not supposed to, they can get in there. It's
What does she
their
do
legal
now?
right.
What is
Okay.
her job now?
She stepped down from Secretary of State.
She was a Secretary of State?
Yeah.
Yes.
Under
What do they
Obama.
do?
They control all. What? How do you?
Well, I would say very vaguely they control basically the entire intelligence community and foreign affairs. Like,
Ambassadors.
that's- Yeah.
That sounds super
But let me tell you
uninteresting.
the extent of this whole email server. Okay, and this is going to be in layman's terms. All right.
Good, because I'm an idiot when it comes
Okay,
to this.
and this isn't normal behavior because time and time again, people, like important people in America, have been busted through email accounts. So this-
Benghazi?
no, I'm talking about like General Petraeus. You know, his affair got busted because
Who?
he was using General Petraeus.
Don't try to explain. He's going to question
Okay.
you this whole time. Buck, just be
I don't
quiet.
know who any of these people
I know.
are.
So
Okay,
don't
so-
question anything.
All
Just
right.
just sit and listen.
Okay, so let me tell you the extent that the Clintons went to keep their emails secure. Okay,
Did Bill do it too?
Yeah.
yeah. So the
All their staffers did.
The
basically.
NSA launched probes into every single internet hub to copy all emails. So every email that you send on Yahoo or company email, whatever, is stored in a little folder on the Internet Hub, which is the server that, as we're sitting here on the Internet now, that's what we're connected to, is the Internet Hub. So to make an Internet Hub costs right in the low range of $80,000 and on up. Best Buy has their own Internet Hub, and you've seen our server room.
Yeah.
So not only did they have their own Internet Hub, then they had their own email server, which is an additional $35,000. So they spent over at least $100,000 to keep their email safe. And
not only take the word safe out of this, because that puts them in the light of they were trying to protect them from outside sources to keep their emails secret.
Yeah. And the
so
reason
that no one could access them. The government can't.
Who's not going to find out about that?
Well, see, we did find out about it. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how would someone not find out about that?
They pay their people so well to keep their mouths shut. And it was one of their staffers that was probably slighted in some way, shape, or form, which is how 90% of these things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
They pissed him off. They didn't give him a raise. They didn't do what he was waiting for this assignment. They didn't give him the assignment, whatever.
Snitched.
But he basically snitched on them, how I understand it.
Right.
Their staffer said, hey, they've got this email, but now...
But let's put it into context. So the reason why this email server is so important, why it raises so many questions about Hillary Clinton, is it goes back to Benghazi, when our embassy in Benghazi was attacked.
Now you can start asking questions.
For 3 weeks, the State Department, on every single level, all the way up to Hillary Clinton, said it was a formed militia that attacked the embassy in Benghazi.
Like it was a last-second thing.
Yeah. But as details started coming out, when they figured out what kind of weapons they were using, like GPS-guided mortars and laser-guided rockets to attack it, that's no longer a militia. That's a professional army. That is professional trained army.
Let me put it this way. I've watched guys set up mortar systems, just simple mortar systems. I was in the Army and went out with these guys and watched them set up these mortars. Man, they stake them in the ground. There's math calculations. This is not just backwoods
fire.
I mean,
fire at will.
Dude, in Iraq and Afghanistan, when they'd fire at us, those dudes would just aim it in a direction and drop them. We're talking about in Benghazi, we're talking about, fields of fire, sectors, and this was not a simple attack. This was this was an actual military.
And the fact that they could
style,
and even to get more in Robbie, you would know what I'm talking about on this. It even comes down to the techniques that they were using, like TOT, time on target. Being able to launch from 10 different positions at 10 different elevations and having all the mortars hit at the same time for maximum impact. That's stuff that professional military.
There was training involved. This was not a.
Yeah.
Was that in her email?
But see, that's the thing. It is
no one knows.
It is unrealistic to think
Can we now look at her emails?
No.
It is
because it's personal. It's their server.
Right.
No one can, unless there is, and that's the big deal, is unless there is proof that she did something illegal, the government can't access those emails. The other thing is, it was just announced today, they deleted 30,000 emails off of her server.
Imagine that.
And this is deleted, hard drive pulled out, hard drive smashed, lit on fire, melted down, recycled, turned into a new hard drive with Disney movies on it, so no one can get near it.
Oh,
kind of thing.
And that's what's been raising the big question is, and it's unrealistic to think how vast the military intelligence and outside of the military intelligence, how strong they are, and to our embassy be under attack for over 12 hours, and we didn't know it in real time and didn't know what was going on is unrealistic.
I bet she sends naked photos to that email. I'll bet you.
You just gave me the nastiest picture in my mind.
She looks rough.
Yeah. Well,
rough.
See, Congress
worse than her daughter does now.
Yeah. Well, see, Congress
Chelsea.
can subpoena any government email, and so they're required by law to turn that information over. But when it's outside of the government, when you're talking about personal email, they have to go through a court of law, which means they have to have some sort of probable cause to basically accuse her of committing a criminal act, which they don't have. Because technically she didn't do anything criminal.
Driving while ugly as hell.
Unfortunately, there'd be a lot more people in jail.
That's a felony. The streets of Tupelo would be so slow.
You know,
Cause everybody to be in jail.
on a total side note, there was a Kentucky lawmaker that was pulled over for having his tags weren't registered on his car, got pulled over, they ran his background check, and then arrested him for having an 11-year-old overdue library book and put him in jail.
Sweet.
That's funny.
That's
I
11
believe it.
year?
Oh,
11-year-old.
Well, you can imagine the
Book.
charges on that. I wonder what the name of the book was. I wonder if it's like when he's like, honey, make sure you take this back to the library tomorrow. And then like for 11 years, his wife's been like, oh yeah, I took that back.
that brings
11 years ago.
That so reminds me of one of my favorite jokes of all time, told by Ronald Reagan in 1986. It's really funny. So he was making fun of the Soviet Union, and he starts to joke off like, "Did you know?
Joke off.
Do you know 1 in 7 people in the Soviet Union have cars? Did you know that there is a 10-year waiting period for a car in the Soviet Union? And not only that, you have to put the money up front." So this is a true story that came. This is what Ronald Reagan was saying. This is a true story that came out of Russia. He said that, and he's taking my picture. Anyways, he said that that a man walked into a car dealership, put his money down, like, "Hey, I want a car." He's like, "Okay, well, here's your ticket. Come back in 10 years. You'll get your car." The guy looks at him, "Morning or afternoon?" And the guy just paused for a second, looks at him, and he's like, "Well, what difference does it matter? It's 10 years from now." The guy looks at him with a straight face and says, "Well, the plumber's coming in the morning." Like, that's one of my favorite jokes ever. Like there's a 10-year waiting period on a plumber too. It's funny.
That's pretty good. Ronald Reagan.
But for some reason, that 11-year library book made me think of that joke. I had to share it. That's one of my favorite jokes.
Reagan
ever.
was a good man.
I think Reagan was a good man.
He was a good man.
Reagan was a good man. So how do you feel about this whole Hillary Clinton email scandal there, Buck? Do you think a government official should be allowed to run their own server, block people from being able to access them? Isn't that what we're all about, is accountability for people?
What we should do, this is off the top of my head, blow that house up, okay?
Which one?
The one that Clintons are in. Without them in it. Don't murder anyone in this. Either blow it up. Maybe that's a little rash. I just don't understand. I mean, just like go look through the emails.
Yeah.
We should just do that.
Well, my personal.
That's all. I didn't have anything
my personal
crazy.
opinion is,
Oh man, get hardcore.
As I've already said, there is definitely something shady going on.
My whole thought is everyone's all about accountability, and hey, this wasn't President Obama all about, hey, this is going to be a see-through administration. You're going to see through us. You'll know everything. And now this kind of stuff comes out.
Right.
It just goes to prove that government officials can't be trusted.
Not only does it prove that, but it proves how outdated this country's cyber laws are. Like, that legislation should have been passed 10 years ago when the government first started using email. Hey, if you're going to conduct government business, you use your government email account. You do not send any kind of government documents contained to your business outside of
the
your
thing
email
is they
account.
could have done that, but then that would be self-regulation, and we already know that our government is terrible at self-regulation because the military has already been doing that. We can't. You have two types of military emails, or you have multiple types, but I mean you have unclassified and classified. If I was to send something unclassified like she did, or send something classified on unclassified, I lose my job.
Yeah,
I get kicked out of the Army. I go to jail. End of my life.
But
she does this, and she's now.
Well, that's how it works with any job everywhere. I can give you a perfect example of just retail store that any retail store basically stuff done in corporate. That if we did down here, it'd just be canned for. But up there, you get a separation. You get like a what is it when you leave?
A severance.
Severance.
Yeah.
Basically, you get a severance, and
Yeah.
the person's severance is more than I'll make in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, they definitely as I said, that legislation should have been passed 10 years ago, because I mean, like that's the problem with government expanding the way it does and how it's always done since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of this country, how government has always expanded.
Just overregulation.
The laws regulate the people too much. It doesn't regulate the government enough.
But that's history in general.
I agree
The
with
fact that we've lasted this long, we're the longest lasting republic ever.
Look, I watched a thing today.
No republic has lasted nearly this long. They all collapse because it's a proven fact that republics cannot last. It's just
True
a fact.
story. Watch Star Wars. The Republic did not last. That's a true story.
When
'cause it's in a movie.
When Padme says when the Emperor basically declares
Padme.
martial law. Padme. What did I say?
Padme.
Yeah, Padme.
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 There you go.
Excuse me.
Let's get it correct.
That's
God, he
Southern.
said it like 30 times.
That's-
Yeah, man, Padme.
Padme. No.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I
No,
said
Padme.
I've
Padme.
always
Yeah.
called her. I don't know.
I said Padme.
Anyway,
Yeah, Padme.
Yeah.
No, Padme.
Anyway,
yeah,
yeah, man.
Padme.
She's in the Senate hall, and the Emperor basically declares martial law over the entire galaxy, and she says that's how liberty dies, is with thunders of applause. Well, actually, that came from a Roman senator when Caesar basically disbarred the Roman Senate, the Roman elected Senate, and took basically total control. That's what one senator actually wrote down in his journal. That's how
Who did
liberty
that?
dies.
Caesar is the one?
No, Caesar didn't record it, but yeah, Caesar when
He said it.
no, he
What the
didn't.
hell?
A Roman senator elected by the people wrote it in his journal when that happened.
Oh.
That's how liberty dies, is with thunders
What's
of
that got
applause.
to do with Caesar?
It doesn't. I'm
Oh.
just saying that's where George Lucas got it from.
Oh,
was
okay.
from that. Everything in Star Wars is happened in history.
Speaking of
It is history.
Julius, yeah, it's the future history.
Future history.
Speaking of Julius Caesar, you know what
gonna
today
happen.
is?
His birthday?
No, today is the Ides of March. Today is the anniversary of his death.
and we all know how he
Brute.
died.
What does Ides of March mean?
I don't know the whole history of the actual name, the Ides of March, but Craig's looking it up right now. But that's what they call it. Is the anniversary?
Is Brutus the one that stabbed him?
He was part of the group that stabbed him.
What was the whole story behind that? I've read it and seen it.
They
No, I
wanted
haven't
to
read it. I lied.
they wanted to overthrow him, so they basically did an internal coup, and Brutus was his best friend and didn't stop them. And he said "A2 Brute," which is "You
And
too,
you-
Brutus,"
you too.
and then "You too, you."
According
you too.
According to Wikipedia, that was right, but Brutus was the one that actually stabbed him.
Oh, is it okay? So Brutus is the
Brutus
one.
was
But there was a group that actually ambushed him and assassinated him, but Brutus was the physical one with the blade. And,
Does that make Brutus the first backstabber in history?
no.
Well, no, because I'm sure there was many backstabbers prior to that.
What,
mean,
year, what
technically-
year was that?
44 BC?
So it's like a true story.
Yeah. Do you think...
Wait, can we can we pump the brakes?
What,
Can we pump? I'm flabbergasted right now. Like,
What?
Well, thanks for listening to the podcast, guys.
I mean, my brain is literally shut down. Did you just ask if the story of Julius Caesar was real?
No.
I need an honest answer here.
Well, yeah, but here's why. 44 BC. Who kept up with any of that stuff?
Well, throughout time, Buck, let's give you a little brief history of the
Unless
world.
you're going to tell me that somebody back then wrote all that stuff down and it made it to this day.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
Who's gonna,
okay.
Who's gonna keep up with that?
I'm having a little bit of a freak
Horse
out here.
crap.
Okay,
I
having
don't believe it.
Have you heard? Okay, I'm dude. I'm having a
44
freak out.
BC.
I'm having a freak
no
out.
Way.
Have you
no
heard
way
of?
somebody keeps
Have you
up
heard
with
of Plato?
Yeah.
Socrates.
Aristotle.
Okay, Socrates.
Yeah.
Okay, the stories of Troy, the stories of Athena, the stories of
when was that stuff
the
made?
Roman histories.
Athena, though.
The stuff wasn't made, Buck. This is history.
Athena is a goddess of war or
But
whatever.
I'm talking about the stories are from these times of
Yeah.
the stories were told by storytellers, right?
Yeah.
Which were then written down. That's how we get the stories.
Where's
So how
the-
do you think history gets passed on?
Well, I understand that, but where's
Socrates was a real person.
I know that.
He was a philosopher.
Where's the writing at? Like, where did
These
they get
things
it
are
from?
protected and stored by governments around the world.
I don't believe it until I see it.
I'm still having a little freak out here.
You know,
I'm really.
I mean, not to mention the oldest history book that we've all heard of.
I'm not
Bible?
making fun of
The
you.
Holy Bible.
Or
I'm just saying.
That's real. I believe that. It's written down.
Oh my God.
Oh wow!
I think you're doing this on purpose.
No, I'm not.
This isn't an awkward pause. This is a teaching moment for
But like,
Buck.
where would you get the stuff from? Like, oh,
Buck,
so
have you
it's
heard of-
like totally locked up somewhere?
Buck, have you heard of hieroglyphics?
Yeah.
The first original writings from
Yeah.
humans.
Didn't they use like a?
Don't you? But aren't those written down?
Yeah.
Have you seen them personally?
But here's my deal.
No, I'm asking. Have you seen them personally?
I've seen them in television shows.
You've seen pictures of them.
Yeah.
By someone that could have just made it up.
Yeah.
But you've never seen them personally. Have you seen the real original Bible?
No.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Yeah. But here's my deal.
So all of a sudden,
Here's my thing, is what if when somebody translated the hieroglyphics, they did it wrong?
and that's
and everything that we're reading and stuff, we're like, oh, cow kill man. Like, what if
No,
it
that's
meant?
very-
What if some dude is just like
I gotta-
really messed up, and he was like, dude, draw that cow like stabbing that guy in the butthole with that horn.
But that's very possible. But you also have to understand that these things. This isn't just something that someone one day was like, "Oh, this is what we've decided that these mean." This is years
Did
and
they use-
years and years of daily
Didn't they use like
analyzation.
the Rosetta Stone?
Well,
or
see,
something
that's
like
what I was
that?
fixing to
Or
say.
is
Yeah,
that
they-
something else.
Yeah.
There's things that they found throughout history that tie all this in together that allow them to break it down and find out what everything means. Because at some point along the way, someone has always translated the documents. So as they've gone through languages, they get translated. Because think of the Bible. The Bible's translated. It's like the number one most published book ever. It's been published in the most amount of languages.
Well,
But somebody has to sit down and do that, right? Do you think that's why some people question the Bible, because it's passed through so many people's hands?
well,
Are these stories actual fact? Are they actual true 100% stories? No one really knows, but you have what?
Faith.
So do you have faith that these stories we're telling you are true?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I fully.
I'm giving
look,
you a hard time.
No, it's fine. I fully like. I mean, the only thing is when I heard it back in the day or read it or whatever, I guess I didn't really think of it being an actual real story.
yes.
Because I
Definitely real.
don't think I read it in history class. I believe
You
I read
did.
it in literature.
You would have read it in both. You go
think I read it
through
in
in
lit.
Roman. No, dude. In Roman times, your class would focus on the death of him as a
Caesar.
huge, significant fact
yeah.
in history.
You know what? Maybe I did know that.
You did.
Yeah, I guess I did.
We're just refreshing your.
I guess it's just weird that it was from so long ago. So 44 BC would be
44 years before
Christ.
Jesus was born.
Yeah.
Which, true story, not a whole lot of people know this, but there is a 32-year gap, and I done forgot what
Yeah,
they call it.
yeah.
There's a 32-year gap between BC and AD that they call it something. I done forgot what they call
It's
it.
his lifetime.
Yeah.
AD
But-
after
But I tell you,
dinosaurs.
going back on the whole translation of the Bible, I'll tell you how translated just from the direct sentence.
When were the dinosaurs?
From the I'm not even going to answer that. From
When
the
were
direct
they? Were they
descendant.
before Caesar?
Dude, Bill.
From the direct descendant when it was written in Arabic.
You guys can't see Buck, but he is really enjoying pressing my
Yeah.
buttons right now. He's over here just giggling.
When were they? though?
Uncontrollably.
In all honesty, when were they?
45 million years ago.
Yeah.
45
Oh,
to
was that
60
long
million
ago?
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The Earth is what is the Earth estimated
No
now? What
way.
they put it every year they come out with a new number, like 2 billion years.
Yeah. Oh no, I think isn't it like 200 or something like that, or is it 2 billion?
Because they estimated the
I
Big
don't know.
Bang was 12 billion years ago.
Okay.
Isn't that false though? The Big Bang.
No, not if you believe in God,
Oh well then.
because there was nothing, then there was something.
Oh, I
I'm
thought you were
just
talking
saying.
about like an actual big blow up or something.
I mean, it probably did happen like that. Probably exactly how they
So does
said it.
Was Pangea a real thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pangea was the original formation of the crust, not of the above water crust of Earth.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Actual Earth.
And then gradually
is-
the water's going down. Or
Right.
is it getting higher?
Well, now it's getting higher.
Okay.
It's well,
Was it going down at one time?
global warming says people say that it's getting higher slowly.
Because the ice caps are melting.
Yeah. And
Yes, but in the history of the world, it's just the recycling of the world. It's
Yeah.
what the world does every however many years.
Because-
it flushes itself. It's just like,
Oh, it becomes all water again?
yeah.
well, it doesn't, not all, but I mean, it goes through periods of intense storms and then non-intense storms and then intense storms and non-intense storms and changes in, I mean, it's history. If you look at the history of the world, it's fluctuations in temperatures, and
Totally.
they have the ice age, right?
Yeah.
And then they have, so these periods of ice have come and gone.
So what do you
it's-
think happened to the dinosaurs?
They really
Asteroid?
don't know. I mean, some people say an asteroid hit. Some people say
If you ask my buddy's 4-year-old, it's because an asteroid hit.
That might be the truth. What if the
think
asteroid
aliens-
hit?
He knows more about dinosaurs than any person I've ever met because he watches a show that I
think
hate called Dino Dan.
I think aliens.
Dino
took
Danny?
Dino Dan?
Dino Dan.
It's a little kid that can see dinosaurs, and it's the worst show on the history of the planet.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty bad shows.
No, this one, if you saw it, you would agree with me. I hate watching it
Yeah.
enough that I won't let him watch it when I'm there, and that's
Have
pretty
you-
painful to a 4-year-old.
Have you ever seen the movie Monster?
No.
Well, look it up and get it.
Okay.
Because it's about a serial killer who goes down in the sewers and turns into a big turd that kills people. And he comes through the plumbing
I got.
and kills people.
All
I
right.
got you a
Pulls them
wor-
in the
I got you a
toilet.
worse movie than that. Watch a movie with it's actually got Ben Affleck in it. Watch it. Watch Greenberg.
Greenberg?
One word.
I've
I
heard of it.
promise
I've
you
heard
that
of it.
movie is so bad that how that movie ends, you will laugh instead of cry because you just wasted 2 hours of your life.
In-
And the ending of that movie is so bad.
In 2017, we're going to be having this exact same conversation, and Robbie's going to go, well, listen about this movie that I watched. It was called Ghostbusters, and it had Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy in it, and it's the
No.
worst movie I've ever seen,
Yeah.
or close to it.
Yeah. So now here's another topic that I wanted to get
Oh, yeah.
with you before we end today, and that is my favorite month of the year outside of the NHL playoffs,
When's that?
which is this summer. This is this month, and it's March Madness.
How do they keep the ice cold?
They released.
That is a good question. How do they keep the ice
It's just
cold?
cold down there, dude.
What do you mean, like
Well,
in an
I
ice
mean,
rink?
it's not freezing cold.
You could
Are
technically.
you talking? Are you talking like in an NHL rink?
Yeah.
They have these. It's a piping system that goes
Yeah.
underneath it. It's just like they do those outdoor games. They did an outdoor game in San Francisco.
You just think
at
about
Levi
it.
Stadium in like January, and it was 50 degrees. They just have a really strong piping system underneath the ice that keeps the ice cold into
Really?
the correct
Will they
temperature.
put like nitrogen through it or something?
I don't know. I don't
Sure,
know
it's
that
something
part.
freezing cold.
Well, I mean, nitrogen's like -3.
Well, Buck, I don't think hot water would keep them frozen.
Nope.
You know why I know that?
Proven fact.
I know that because I've watched Frozen 650 billion times.
What happens if you're like in the
He
middle
started
of a
watching.
hockey
He
game?
started watching Frozen back when the dinosaurs were here.
What happens if they're like in the middle of an outdoor hockey game and the piping system fails? Then what?
I've actually played on soft ice, and you don't want to. They would cancel the game.
Oh, is it like dangerous?
No, you can't skate.
Oh,
In Utah, where I grew up playing, we played on an outdoor rink,
It's called walking. Then,
and it was like, yeah,
it's no longer.
it would be
skating.
like 40 degrees and raining, and the ice would be so slushy, it'd be like trying to skate
on an icy.
on sand. It's terrible. But
Did you
back to
ever pick
March
it up?
Madness.
Did you ever pick it up and squirt some
Back to March Madness.
stuff in it? Make eyes
Who's your number one pick?
for March Madness.
Yeah, who are you going to pick to win it all?
Who's in it?
Everybody. Your number ones were just released. It's Kentucky, Villanova, Duke, and Wisconsin.
I'm not taking Kentucky because they're due, man. They're going to lose.
How far do you think they go? Do you think they go to the Final Four?
I'm saying Kentucky makes it to the... Who will they have to beat to make it to the Final Four? Nope. I'm going to say they get beat by Kansas in the Elite Eight.
Ooh, that's a pretty bold statement. Kansas hasn't had the. I don't think Kansas is looking as good as they possibly could be.
Yeah, well, I'm just going based on 2009 stats.
Okay.
Or whatever. No, when was Calipari at Memphis?
Oh, years and years and years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, he lost to Kansas, and he's going to do it again.
My number one
actually has merit to it.
Well, my number one is the
Completely
same
buy that.
every year, and that's Duke because I'm a huge Duke basketball fan.
I'm going to say that
But realistically, I think Kentucky's going to win it.
Kansas is going to beat Kentucky.
I think Kentucky could beat pretty much the whole Eastern Conference in the NBA.
Ooh, bold.
It's a pretty bold statement, but if you watched the Warriors dismantle the Knicks last night, then you would understand why. I
am
feel
going to go.
they
I'm
could
going to
beat the
say
Knicks.
Virginia's going to win it all.
You know what? Virginia does have a chance,
The
but they
reason
did
I said that
lose
is because
to.
I think I watched a commercial the other day, and Virginia was in it.
They just lost to North Carolina, though. So I don't see Virginia
how
being
does
able
that
to pull it
sway
off.
your vote?
Well, no, it kept showing them a lot, so I figured, well, if they're showing Virginia a lot, they got to be good.
Oh,
Virginia is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good, but they lost to
Fair
North
enough.
Carolina in the ACC championship. Or, I mean, in the ACC playoff.
Which means they're due to go on a streak.
They went on a streak, but they've lost 3 or 4 games that they should have probably won.
Well, now they're about to win all the ones they need to win.
That's your
When I
call.
win this,
So what we're going to do this week is all of us are going to fill out our bracket. Then I'm going to post them to Instagram underneath Daily Beard Problems. And you can kind of follow our awesome brackets and see who our winner is between the Brilliant Beards. We're missing Joseph tonight, but he'll be back with us hopefully for the next one. We appreciate everyone listening to us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and hopefully we'll have this up tomorrow.
we got a Twitter, too.
We do have a tweeter, Daily Beard Problems and the Brilliant Beards.
Tweeter.
And then don't forget you can find us on PlayStation 4. I'm the Naval Train.
Shady Sosby.
Cranky Pants Op.
And Joseph is, as always, our reinvented. Don't let him talk you into reinvented because it is reinvented.
It is reinvented.
But I just got GTA 5, so you can find me online playing with Cranky Pants Op. Puck doesn't have it because
I
he
did
traded
not.
it in for another game.
I sold it, actually, I think.
Oh, okay.
No, I traded it in.
Before we got it. But you can also find us on Battlefield pretty consistently. Especially find the Naval Train because I'm single. Ladies, single. Take me away from hours of Battlefield, please.
Please
beg
do.
of you.
Please
But,
take him away from Battlefield.
Thanks for listening. Thanks to my brother for some of the topics tonight, as always. And guys, have a great night and listen for us again.
Thank you.